Hey, it's Sydney, and today I wanted to talk about decisiveness. And I wanted to talk about this idea of decisiveness because we've all had certain things where we feel like we say to ourselves, like, yes, I am going to do this. And then you sort of maybe don't, or you do it for a little while and then you stop. And I was thinking about this and about what the difference is between those times when we say we're going to do something and we don't, and the times when we actually do the things that we say we're going to do. And how it can sometimes feel easy and it can sometimes feel difficult. And I was thinking about this in the context of something that I did almost accidentally last year, which was stop biting my nails. And it was funny because I didn't even really set out to stop biting my nails, because I never really had a bad nail biting habit in the first place. It wasn't like I actually bit them all the way down. I would sort of had this thing where I would bite when a little bit of that white part would start to appear, and then I would sort of clip it with my tooth and then end up picking it off. Yeah, and so with that, it was around my birthday, and I had just cut my nails. I was kind of looking at my hands like, I remember because I tried to stop biting my nails in the past, and I would be like, yes, now is the time when I will really stop biting my nails. And I think about, okay, what kind of technique can I use to stop myself from doing this, and blah, 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 blah. And it was like, I felt like it would be a really decisive thing, like, yes, now is the time. And it's like this, right? Now is the time. And then I wouldn't stop biting my nails. I'd maybe like go for a week, and then I'd be thinking about doing it so much, and then it would just happen. However, me finally managing to stop that bad habit turned out to be much easier than all the other times when I tried to stop biting my nails. And it was a decisive decision, not like how you would think of a decisive decision. It wasn't like, yeah, decisive with that kind of emotion of conviction. It was just, maybe I should stop biting my nails, huh? Yeah, like, that could be cool, right? And I thought to myself, maybe I'll paint them and then I will be less inclined to chew on them. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I painted them and then I stopped biting them. And it was the same level of emotion as choosing what to have for breakfast, because you'll pretty much have for breakfast what you had for breakfast the day before. You kind of just go like, what am I having for breakfast? Oh yeah, that, okay. And then you just make breakfast and have breakfast, and there's no big deal about it. And I think that's what makes all the difference. It's that decisive decisions don't necessarily feel like decisive decisions, because the thing is, I feel that decisiveness isn't something you have to build up in yourself and rev yourself up into doing. You don't need to motivate yourself into doing it. You don't need to spend a lot of your energy deciding and being like, yes, I'm sticking with this, I'm sticking with this, I'm sticking with this. I feel like when you're truly decisive about something, it comes from a much quieter place. And like with the nail biting, I feel that part of what made that work so well, if I'm looking back on what happened, it was the fact that I didn't have any strong emotional attachment to that decision. Because then in the past, right, when I sort of went like, yes, I will stop the nail biting, every time my fingers would come towards my mouth, it would be like a struggle with myself. Oh, but I really want to. No, but you can't. But yes, but no, but yes, but no. And it just would erode away at the willpower that I would have. Whereas when I finally actually stopped nail biting, my finger would come to my mouth, and then I think like, didn't I decide I didn't want to bite my nail? Like, oh, okay, I guess I won't bite it right now. It wasn't a big deal. It's just moment by moment decisions that I barely even thought about. Just, oh no, never mind. I didn't want it anyway. Not really. And if I look at anything that I've been able to truly stick with, it's those low-key, it has that same low-key feeling to it. There's no like, yes, I will do this. It's just, oh yeah, I kind of want to do that. And then every time I do it, I'll be like, yeah, I still want to do this. Okay, continue. And continue. So really, that's what I was thinking about, that kind of energy, where it's not a big deal. And it's so much easier. Life is so much easier when things aren't that big a deal. And how big a deal something is completely up to us. And I feel like most of the time things take much less energy, much less of your own energy than you actually think you need to put in. And then there's also that funny element of, if you feel like you need to really motivate yourself, then all the opposite of that is going to come up. All the sort of anti-motivation is going to come up, and all the resistance comes up because you're going, yes, and then there's that no, and then there's this fight between those two. Whereas when you're dealing with small choices, like what you're gonna eat for breakfast, it's just, yeah, I'm eating my breakfast. It's no big deal. And the only real difference between a big decision and a small one is how we treat them. And you don't have to have this huge, make it a big deal kind of energy around that. And then that decisiveness in making a choice or having a consistent action towards something is much less a big deal. That decisiveness that we all want isn't something you have to build up in yourself. You don't have to rev yourself up into making that, being 100% in on something. Being 100% in on something, I feel, comes naturally, and you don't have to build it up, you just have to let it out. It's sort of less about trying to make it happen and more just allowing it to happen naturally, because it's trying to happen anyway. The things that you want and things that you feel you need to make a decisive choice in committing to, those things are already trying to happen. If you're feeling drawn towards something, the decisiveness lives within that sort of energy of being drawn towards something. And so it's less of a, yes, I gotta stick to this, like grasping onto that energy and being like, yes, I need to stick to this desire and hold on. You just kind of, there's this image in my mind to sort of express this, and it's that, imagine you're in a desert and it's so dry, there's no water anywhere, and any water that you try and collect will immediately evaporate. But there is this wellspring that is just gushing out water, and it's like this endless supply of water, and you're like, oh my gosh, water, this is great. And then you try and collect it, right? And you're trying to hoard this water to yourself and grasp onto it, and there's this water flowing down, you're like trying to grasp the water. And the more you try and grasp at it, the less you actually collect. And the more you try and hoard the water to yourself, the more it just evaporates. And then you think, oh no, the more I try and grasp at it, the less I collect. So then you stick your hands out with your fingers splayed wide, and then you still don't collect any water, because you're like trying so hard to not grasp that your hands have gone completely flat and stiff. Whereas the easiest thing for you to actually do is to just gently cup your hands out in the most natural and relaxed position, and your hands, your palms will fill with water, and then you can drink from your hands and it will naturally refill itself. And anytime you need water, all you need to do is just cup your hands gently under that stream of water, and you'll always have a fresh supply because it is always streaming forth. You can collect just as much as you need every single time. And I don't know exactly how to link that back, but it's that feeling. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked that, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, subscribe and leave a comment if you have anything to say. If you liked this, if you have things that you want me to make videos about in the future, that'd be cool too. And I will leave the various links up for you to click on that I think you might like. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.